Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we break down the college football national championship on Monday night in Indianapolis between Georgia and Alabama. Kevin Rogers and Brian Edwards with you. A repeat of the SEC championship won by Alabama in Atlanta back in December. Now these two teams moving on for the right for the national championship. And Brian, before we get to that game, let's take a look back at the two semifinal games. Not very entertaining games, both blowouts. But what were your thoughts on Alabama taking care of Cincinnati in the Cotton Bowl and also Georgia's blowout of Michigan in the Orange Bowl?
Alabama Cincy went as I expected. Cincy played tough defensively. They hung around for a little while as I thought they would, but I thought that they would just not be able to generate enough offense just because I thought their O-line was going to be overmatched. And, that was the case. So, I mean, they weren't, completely bageled offensively, but, couldn't get touchdowns when they needed them. And that game went as expected. It was my bad on the read on Georgia, Michigan. I thought that there was a decent chance Georgia would be a little punch drunk, and I thought if Michigan got out to a good start that that they would have a good chance, and the over was my play, which was a push. I got fortunate to A, get a good number, and B, have them go for two there pretty late in the fourth when they got that only touchdown. But hats off to Georgia. I mean, it was very similar to their game against Arkansas. I mean, after both teams had the ball three times, it was game, set, match. You knew that game was over. They were completely dominated. Kudos to them. Nice bounce back by the Dogs.
Now, the last time Georgia and Alabama played in the SEC championship, the Crimson Tide closed as a 6.5-point underdog. They won 41-24 in Atlanta. Now, this time around, Brian, Georgia laying 3 here. Another neutral site game. I mean, big-time neutral site in Indianapolis between these two teams. Kirby Smart has never beaten Nick Saban in his career, and some of the big games that he's faced him in, Georgia's fallen short twice in the SEC title game, once in the national championship. So your thoughts here on this matchup now, round 2 between Georgia and Alabama?
All the same reasoning that I had for the game in Atlanta a month ago, I have right now. I put huge stock in quarterback play and head coaching. And Kirby might be on Saban's level recruiting wise and all facets of being a head coach outside of clock management, in-game adjustments, and things of that nature. And not only does Alabama have an advantage there, they have an enormous advantage there. And then you look at quarterback play. Stetson Bennett has been a great story. He's achieved way, way more in his career than anybody would ever dreamed of. He's, been the captain of the ship for this, incredible season for Georgia. But, they have only been in one close game. And he didn't play horrible against Bama, but in the end, he ended up, throwing a couple of interceptions. And he's now thrown 5 interceptions in 2 games against Bama the last 2 years. And obviously Bryce is just a lot better. It's, again, an enormous advantage at quarterback. Bryce is the best quarterback in the country, in my opinion, 46-5 TDI&T ratio, 4,503 yards. He doesn't run it a lot, but he's very elusive in the pocket. He keeps plays alive. He's just the better quarterback by far. And Bama's only been an underdog 3 times in the last 12 years, and they've won in blowout fashion all 3 times. 2009, I had the great misfortune of being at the Georgia Dome. They put it on my Gators 32-13 as a 5-point dog. In 2015, they were a short dog at Georgia. They won 38-10. And then a month ago, they were a 6.5 to 7-point dog. And they lost, Bama won 41-24. So, you got a head coaching advantage, a quarterback advantage. You've got every psychological advantage you could ever imagine. And we're actually getting points. Appreciate the gift. I mean, Georgia's capable of winning. They're very talented. But if I lose, I'll sleep well at night. I'm rolling with Bama for sure. And I'm getting aggressive with it as well. I'm betting it with confidence.
So, Brian, on Alabama plus the points coming up on Monday night. And as far as any player props go for Monday, Brian, what are you looking at?
Well, I think you don't really get cute and you just hammer Bama +3. I think that's the way to bet it. But it is the championship game, and we all like to gamble. So for those that want to get cute, the prop of Bryce Young to go over 2.5 touchdown passes looks pretty tasty to me. +130. 10 out of 14 games he's thrown for 3 touchdowns or more, and he had 3 against Georgia, and they're giving us plus money on over 2.5. So that's my best prop.
All right. So Brian riding Alabama and Bryce Young over 2.5 touchdowns on the player prop. Brian, thank you so much for all the time this season. And now college football in the back burner for a bit after Monday. But thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again next year.
Thanks, K-Raj.
All right. There is Brian Edwards. And I want to tell you now about DraftKings. And you could be the GOAT. You know all about the GOAT. He wears the crown proudly. DraftKings Championship Series is the ultimate competition of contest winners from daily fantasy sports, sportsbook, and casino. The one and only place you can compete in the king of competitions. The best of the best in each domain will compete for series supremacy in their own domain's tournament of champions. They'll have one goal in mind: win the ultimate crown or earn the title of the greatest of all time, the GOAT. Check out more details today at DraftKings.com. For Brian Edwards, I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, best of luck with your bets.